Hello my friends, today we're going to use a plectrum. I'm going to talk about Pleck control. What do I mean by Pleck control? A lot really, because unless you know how to use your Pleck, a lot of stuff you're going to try and do won't sound very good. Let me give you an example. A song you'll all know, particularly those over in the US. She's a good girl. See what I was doing there? I was using my Pleck control to make the one guitar sound like three, and it does sound like three. The song was Free Falling by Tom Petty. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want a copyright strike, and you know what it is anyway, and it's not about learning the song. By the way, if you play what I've just played, you have in fact learnt the whole of that particular song. You really have, because that's all that's in it. So let's do the Pleck control and let's learn the song at the same time. That's good value, isn't it? Right, before we do it, you know the score now. This is your idiot proof paperwork, which you will find by clicking the blue link at the bottom. For those people who haven't yet subscribed, please do so, because it's getting good now. We're getting a good bunch of people together. All right, and it's good fun. Right, you're going to download this. This is where your fingers are going to go, and I'll explain this in a minute. It's dead easy. But Pleck control, joking apart, is so important. You know, and you've even heard me saying, well, you know, when you're strumming, you just move your hand up and down, and of course you do. So let's have a quick look at this track, and we'll use this as an example of what I'm talking about, and hopefully by the end of it you've got an idea of what to do, not just with this song but with anything else you'll ever play whilst using a Pleck. First of all, sounds daft, how do we use it? Well, you have the sort of pointy bit, sort of 90 degrees, you know, to your guitar, do you know what I mean? So don't have it pointing towards your mate sitting in the corner, you know, have it pointing towards your guitar like that, alright? And I always hold it between my first finger and thumb. I don't use it like this and all that. I want to use these fingers for other things later on, you know, especially if you want to get into doing some country blues and all that sort of stuff where you need these fingers. So try not to get into the habit of holding it like this. Try and hold it between your first finger and your thumb. And it gives you hand balance as well, alright? Much more of a sweep. Okay, let's have a quick look at this song of this first chord. It's a D. You know how to play D. It's dead easy. It's written down if you don't. Alright, there's our D shape. And whenever we play a D, we don't want to strike the 6th string. Why I'm using a 12 string, can't be bothered picking up my 6th string, which is downstairs, so I'll do it on this. I've got a capo on. You can do exactly what I'm doing without... let me have a yeah, do it with a capo on, just because he uses a capo. So I'm going to put my thumb over the bass note just to damp it off, alright? And then that way if I hit it, it doesn't sound like this. Okay, so keep that thumb there. Now, this is the trick with the left hand. We're going to play a G now. We're going to bring our... and this is the bit that everyone messes up when they do this song. Bring your second finger, which is currently down here, and bring it right the way to the bass note at the 3rd fret. And also add your little finger now to the 1st string of the 3rd fret. Okay? And you're going to play, you're going to mute your 5th string. This finger will do that anyway because it'll naturally want to lie across it. But you get that sound. Now this is the key to the sound of this particular track. It's like it gives it like a drone effect. We're never going to take that one off. All right, it's always going to stay on. So let's do that again slowly. There's our D. We bring this finger right the way up to the bass note, and we put our little finger underneath the 3rd finger, and let this finger mute that one. You know, you'll find that it'll want to do that anyway. All right. So we've got bam bam. And then we know it goes down, down. How do we do that? We go back the other way. Bam, bam. So we've got bam, 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 bam. And then this is what I like to do. I like to keep these two strings in play, the third and the second. I don't want to take them off and change the shape, and because it'll kill the notes that I've just played. I want them to continue to ring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this second finger and I'm going to put it over the top of the third, over the top of the first finger. So I've gone from there to there. Now you could, if you want, change your fingers around, but in doing so you'll lose those notes that we want to keep ringing out. Okay, so see, we've always got that going on. Bam, bam, dun, dun, dun. So that's how the song starts. If you look at that, they're the shapes. Bam, 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 bam. All right, there we are. Now, when it kicks in, now this is where the Pleck control comes in. The intro is pretty straightforward, just one guitar and you're just playing what you can hear at the beginning. Bam, 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 bam. Now we want to give the impression of two guitars. Whilst that big guitar's doing that, there's another guitar, you'll hear another one that'll be doing this. Playing on the eighths. What does that mean? Well, there's 4 beats to the bar and your hand is going to come down and go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you count those bits up you'll go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. All right, that's why it's called the eighths. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then there's 2 bars in this whole riff, so we'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now while we're doing it, I want you to think about this. We want to give the impression, instead of just doing this, we want to give the impression that that other guitar is there as well, punctuating the riff. So we want to make it sound like we've got that one in the background and we've got the bigger one with its louder, you know, in front of it sound wise, okay, dynamically. So we want to try and get this sound. So how do we do that? How do we get that, give it that sort of depth, the dynamics as they call it in music? Well, let me show you. If you look at this down the bottom now, you'll see our count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll see, if you look closely, I've darkened the arrows where the chord will change, and on those arrows you will strike those particular beats that little bit harder. All right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So in your head, because it all got to start here, right? It's all got to start there. We're going to do this. We're going to get the rhythm going, nice and steady. If it was up to 10, we go to 5, so it's about halfway. And then we're going to think of how this riff goes. Bam, 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 bam. Now what am I doing there? Well, clearly I'm striking the strings that bit harder, but the thing that I notice that I do it, and probably lots of other players without realizing, if I play this with the same intensity, I'll try and do it from this angle. Now I'm not going to hit the strings harder, but you're going to hear a noticeable difference. What am I doing to create that intensity, that louder? I'll tell you what I did. As I hit those, I'm gripping the Pleck a little bit harder, you know, and it's one of those things that players do without knowing, because when you've been doing it for so often, for so many years, you don't realize. So if I was to hold the Pleck quite lightly, okay, like this. Now this is really, really important. So I'm just holding the Pleck enough so it doesn't fall out of my fingers, which is what I would do anyway. But if I grip it tighter, watch what happens. Now just by gripping it tighter, it's digging into the strings more and thus making it louder. All right, so that's going on as well. Pleck control, that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ba, ba. I'm just squeezing the pleck now. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And that's creating that extra volume. So let's put that now with the shapes. Okay, now before we join the two together, let's have a look at the left hand again, because don't forget we are trying to learn to play a song at the same time as learning how to use pleck control and build our dynamics. So let's just look at this for a minute. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and don't forget we change, because it changes on off beats here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. See the way that 1 is still on this G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so we can do it really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is what we've got. We've got the beginning where we just go, and that's when all your mates in the room who are yapping, that's when they'll go and look to see what's going on, because it's going to sound great. And then you'll start to sing. I'm not going to sing it, can't remember the words, but you know the words. Now when you start the verses, we don't want to give it too much too soon, because don't forget we have to be the band if we're playing the one guitar. So we're going to kick off. She's a good girl, loves her mama, whatever the words. Da 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 da. Read that Elvis loves horses, coming back, and the boyfriend too. So what happens then when the band comes in? Because we are the band. Well, instead of playing 8s, I'm going to play 16s. Well, how do we do that? Well, you're already doing it without knowing, because if you're going down like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're not striking the upstrokes yet, are we? We're only doing the downs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you look at the diagram again, we've only got the downs. Now, if we suddenly put the ups in, and by that I mean hit the strings on the way up as well, you're going to get 16ths, and it's going to sound like something else is going on, which indeed it is, you know. But we're still going to maintain the da 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 da. So let me show you. I'll do it slowly. First with the 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the way it should be counted. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and da 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 da. Now those big downs, they'll always strike at the same time with the same intensity, but the upstrokes, you know, you'll get used to it. Watch my hand. Now, watch this. I'm going to play it from the beginning, and to demonstrate the movement of the hand and the intensity, I want you to concentrate on this hand. Watch this. To watch that again and turn the sound off, you will see my hand doing that. All right, now clearly at the head of the song, You don't have to keep your hand moving. But I'm doing that to demonstrate that every one of those beats falls bam, ding, ding, down, ding, 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 bam, bam, and ding, you know, as part of that rhythm. All right. So, Pleck control. When you want it to be a bit louder, just squeeze the Pleck a little bit more. Okay. These are the little tiny things. It always reminds me when I was a kid, when I was younger. One of my mates, he's a plasterer, and he was plastering this wall, and I went along to help him or something. And I said, "Can I have a go?" And he said, "No, you won't be able to do it." I said, "How hard can it be? Hey, how hard can it be? You get the stuff, you go like that." So he sort of let me have a go to humour me, and I tried, and it was just like a horse having a shit all over my boots. You know, it just went all over the place. And then he went on to explain why I couldn't do it, and it was all to do with not just the consistency of the plaster, but it was all to do with the angle of the thing, and you know, and the trowel or whatever you call it. And it's the same with any skill, isn't it? Golf, playing a guitar, whatever it is, it's not as easy as it looks. It's all the attention to detail that makes the difference, okay? And it's little tiny things that make something either sound great or ordinary. Now, I'm thinking of doing this one next, talking to Tom Petty. I don't know it yet, so bear with me. I'm just going to have a bat. Well, it's all right. How about doing that one next? A little bit of travelling Wilburys. That'll be good. Or the travelling blueberries, as one of my friends mistakenly called it. From Liverpool, what do you expect? Right, on that note, I will love you and leave you. Thank you very much for all those people who have subscribed. Get all your mates to do so. Don't forget, everything on the channel's free. Thanks again for those people who've done those little, what do they call it, special thank things, whatever. That's all very nice. I appreciate that. Buys the tea and the coffee, don't you know? And I'm going to set up this live stream. A lot of response on that. That's going to happen on the 31st, and we'll do it at the end of the month, or whatever day you said. No, not 31st. I think it's at the. I can't remember now. You know, I've sent you a message. All right, but look out for that. Now, in the meantime, any questions? You're always welcome to give me a call. When I say give me a call, message me, and I'll do my best to answer them. In the meantime, work on that Pleck control. Excuse me, it's really important, and. We'll do. We'll stick with the Pleck for a couple more lessons, and I'm going to do Angie by the Stones. I've been threatening to do that, and somebody asked me to do Fast Car. I've done it once, but I'll do it again. By the way, I'm repeating some of the older tutorials because I was doing it on a shitty old iPad, and the volume wasn't very good. So those ones where people have said, "Can you turn it up?" I'll probably do them again, all right, with a bit more detail. But in the meantime, you look after yourselves. Have an enjoyable rest of your weekend, and I shall see you next week. All right, take care. Bye bye.